What's good, YouTube? I decided to make a video which isn't about fishing, it's not about crabbing, and it's not about off-roading, but I'm here to answer a few questions on folks who have been asking me what type of camera gear do I use and the accessories when I make my videos. So here it is, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and check out the Northwest Adventure. This is the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Mine came with 2 extra batteries. Bought this on Amazon for 287 bones. And nowadays they have the GoPro Hero 10 for $399.98. So you cannot buy this 7 from GoPro anymore. They discontinued it. You can only get it on Amazon, but it produces awesome videos. With your GoPro, you'll want to attach accessories straight to the unit. So it comes with this little casing that you close it up. And now you can take this little bottom piece here, right there, and you can connect it to tripods and other things. Let me show you. This little stand here is a sandbag. So I like to use these when I'm on the fishing pier and it's windy. This will keep your camera from moving. It's got rubber on the bottom and holds it pretty tight. The brand here is Octopus Camera. If you buy anything newer than the GoPro 7, such as the 8 and the 9, then this little cage is actually built into the camera. And this little piece down below sticks out of here. So you don't need this specific accessory once you buy the 8, okay? To avoid wind noise, you want to buy one of these. It's called a Tajanair Wind Slayer. And this piece here will go directly over the GoPro. And this will get rid of that big hissing noise when the wind blows, so your video will be nice and clean. I believe this piece, you could buy it on Amazon for about $11.99. I've literally had these for about almost 1 year, and this little $12 piece works quite well. And if it gets dirty and stinky and smells like fish, you just put it in the washing machine, add some soap, and then let it air dry, and these things are good to go. When I'm shooting around water or snow and you got these big bright glares, I like to use these ND filters. These are neutral density filters made by Teleson. You got the ND4, the ND8, and the 16s. And basically just open these up, take it out of the container, and then it just... I acquired these for $24.99. Snaps on to the camera. And now your video comes out nice and crisp and clean, and you don't have too much glare. Next, you want to order a floaty if you're around the water much. So this little cover here will also protect from wind noise, and if you drop it, it's not going to damage the camera. And then I also have this little handheld piece here, which is floatable. So this will float if you drop this off your boat. It'll float in the water, and with these bright colors, you'll be able to find it and retrieve it, and you'll be able to film for another day. For your GoPro, you're going to need a lot of batteries. Every time I go out to the field to shoot videos, I bring at least 10 batteries with me, and I bring a charger. These batteries don't last long, so you want to buy GoPro batteries And I wouldn't bother buying second-hand batteries, and not so much second-hand, but aftermarket. They will not work as long. Now, you would be fine to order a aftermarket battery charger. I have a GoPro charger and an aftermarket charger, and my aftermarket charger actually charges up the batteries a lot quicker. So here's the aftermarket GoPro charger, and it is made by Ugreen. And this thing works fine. I can charge up 3 batteries in probably 30 minutes. They're ready to roll. Here is a GoPro charger, which costs probably $20 more, and yet takes almost an hour. And I can only charge 2 batteries. So, yeah, I have both, but the aftermarket one is the one I would recommend. The GoPro uses SD cards. I like to use 128s and the 264s versus the smaller 64s and the 32s. Actually, 256 is another one. So these things will last you a whole day, and depending how much you're shooting. So the 16s are pretty much a waste of money. So go big or go home when it comes to the SD cards. And then I bought this credit card size little holder, which seems to work quite well. So if you want to do underwater videography, this is a great tool to have here. This probably costed me about $15 on Amazon, and you basically just slip your GoPro into it. It's got a nice seal that keeps the water out, and then you close it up. And now you could attach it to a crab pod and drop this into the Puget Sound or the Pacific Ocean and let it soak. And when you're ready to bring it up, you'll be able to video all of the crabs and fish and other sea life that enters your crab pods. It's an awesome gift. Definitely worth giving. Here is the Ulanzi, and it's kind of a media cage here. So this is pretty awesome to have. This will go onto your mounts as well with everything else. But the good thing for this is you can connect microphones to it. And so basically these mics will just slide. These mics will slide right into the top or into the side, and that way you'll be able to film and get voice at the same time. With this media package, you can add lights. And these lights here actually are pretty bright, and they look great at night, and they will light up your subject really well. Next, you're going to want a tripod. And this is a pretty decent one. I don't use it too often, but I do use it quite a bit. And this thing here actually extends quite a bit. Let me just do this. And so there you go. And how tall is this really? Well, this is an iPhone 8 Plus. This here is another great tool. This is made by Cupton, K-U-P-T-O-N, and they call it the Jaws. So yeah, you can take this little clamp and clamp it on whatever. Okay, and now you've got it there, and you've got it here. So when I go out on my friend Steve's boat, I usually bring this, and then you just turn it. Whoops. It's not holding too good right now, which is strange. And I know why. It's because I have this big metal heavy case on it. If I didn't have the heavy metal case and I used the plastic case that comes with GoPro, it wouldn't be putting so much strain on this clamp. But this is very ideal, and this Cupton clamp jaws is only about $15 on Amazon. So this is a handheld mount, and basically what you can do with this is it extends. Whoop, don't hit the wall now. All right, let me extend this thing and twist it so it doesn't go. And this thing gets to be pretty darn long. And it's awesome because this head here pivots. And so you can use different angles. So like when I'm walking down the beach, I hold this downwards, and then I'm able to get all the little rocks on the ground and the crabs and the seashells and all that without having to bend down. I just use this giant pole. And you could also find this on Amazon for probably about $55. Kind of expensive, but any product that you're buying that actually has the name GoPro on it is going to be more expensive than the aftermarket stuff. But you got to remember, a lot of the aftermarket stuff is really, really good. So, but I do prefer GoPro, especially when the money's right. This here is a must-have. This is a suction cup. So I like to put this on my truck when I'm off-roading. I put it kind of closer to my tires so I can watch all the rocks and the dirt and the sand kick up in the air as I cruise around. And this thing has all these different controls, which lets it get a lot of different flex points. But I would highly recommend, if you get one of these suction mounts, you only buy the GoPro brand. All of the other brands that I've read go for about 75% cheaper, but when you're driving down the road, they fall off your car. The GoPro one doesn't. This suction is super, super strong. So I will highly recommend that. And this will also attach to the side of your boat. And when you do it, something like that with your boat, you probably want to get one of the floaty things just in case this thing goes down and does fall off some way, somebody bumps into it, whatnot, you're able to retrieve it as it's floating in the Puget Sound. This here is the iSteady Pro E. This is a gimbal. These things are awesome because you're able to control your camera, move at different angles, and it will have some of the smoothest video recording ever versus holding the camera in your hand. So this is the way to go. If you're walking down the street, walking down the beach, your video will be so smooth and professional that people will hire you to film their events. So yeah, definitely worth getting. And the bottom of it has a little tripod that attaches to the bottom if you want to use it as a tripod. I never have, because the whole goal of this gimbal is to be walking down the street with it. So I don't see no need for a tripod. And this also has a USB, so you can keep it charged up and ready to go. And it's got many functions here, which will do lots of tricks. So yeah, definitely recommend getting a gimbal for when you're anywhere, on the boat, on the land, and this will take your video to the next level. So next is they call this the CHESTY. So this goes on your chest, and this GoPro mount. This GoPro mount is awesome. When you're reeling in your fishing pole, you'll be able to get the pole and your hand doing all the action. However, if you're at the rifle range and say you're firing a handgun, if you use this, you will not get your hand in the photo. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to get a head mount, and let me show you how that works. So here is the GoPro head mount. This thing is awesome because you're able to, like I mentioned, if you're at the rifle range or you're shooting a handgun, when you're using this, you'll be able to see the actual gun firing and whatever. Or if you're throwing knives or even fishing, this gives you a different perspective of your casting where you won't see the reel so much being done, but you'll see the rest of the fishing pole action. So When I fish, I like to use this, and I have the chest mount going at the same time, so that way I don't miss any of the action ever. Next, you may want to select a GoPro gear bag. So this one came with the GoPro. So as you can see, it's pretty small. So for all the equipment I have, this doesn't suffice. So I ended up ordering this one, which is kind of a hard shell. And it gives you a little bit more room to where you can get your stuff in there, but as you could tell, it's empty. This is the one I took with us when we were fishing, because since I was on the boat, I didn't need to bring everything. But my everyday carry is this. So this is a low pro. This is a really nice bag. And then when you open it up, you'll see I've got room for all sorts of things. So I carry my 2 GoPros in these pockets, and then my different accessories and lighting systems go here. This is where I keep my batteries and my memory cards, and then underneath here, you can add all your straps, plugins, and whatnot. So yeah, GoPro has some amazing gear, and there's some amazing companies with even better gear to store your equipment. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is able to help you with your selection. Until then, we'll talk soon. See ya.